Welcome to a pandemic. So this video will be repeated and included in the first Top Hat assignment, more on that later. But I know some folks are curious as to what's going on, and I've hinted at some of that in previous announcements. But I have settled on a structure for the class that's consistent with my department's policies, and I think is reasonable going forth in a Gen Ed class for the remainder of the semester. So in the email that you receive about this, there'll be a link to the amended syllabus. There's also a link to the amended syllabus on Blackboard, right next to the old link to the old syllabus. But it can, you're going to have a lot of reading to do in all of your classes coming up, so I thought maybe a video would be a little easier to digest. So let's get into it. Your amended syllabus. What changed and how does it affect me? So I haven't done this on Blackboard yet. FYI, you do have two more days of spring break. Spring break ends Tuesday night. Classes begin Wednesday, which is good for both of us, I think. By then, I should have a new column in Blackboard. I don't yet, as of Sunday, whatever today is. What is it? Sunday the 22nd. There's going to be a column which is before spring break grade, BSBG, and it'll be what grade you would have received if the semester ended. I had to grade your second exam. I more or less forgot about exams for a week as I was, glued to my phone wondering what the heck was going on. So I will get those done soon. So that's your before spring break grade. Now the grade for the rest of the semester is going to be calculated differently because things are different. So part of this video is telling you how that grade is going to be calculated and then how a final course grade will occur. Now keep in mind you do have the option of pass-fail. I know it's been extended to undergraduates, so you can change that. I don't know a lot about it. If you're interested, I would reach out to your advisor. They're in a better place to figure that out for you, and they are still working, though remotely. Keep in mind that all faculty and most staff are strongly discouraged from going on campus, so we're all at home with our kids. If we have kids, I have a bunch. You'll occasionally hear them in the background. So let's get into it. Anyway, so here's what's going to happen. Number one, if you opted for a pass-fail and your grade is 60% or higher, I will enter a pass. So if that's the option you're interested in, go for it. If you do better in the second half of the semester here, I'll give you that grade. So there's going to be the assignments from here onwards. Any participation, quizzes, exams, your final essay, those are all entered into the after spring break grade. That's a separate grade. If it's better than what you had halfway through the semester, I'll just give you the better grade. Whatever letter grade corresponds to that. See the old syllabus for how I make that decision. If your after spring break grade is less than your before spring break grade, but within 10 percentage points, I'll give you your before spring break grade. So let's suppose you had an 82 as of exam 2, once I grade exam 2. And then by the end of the semester, all of that work is, a 73. I would give you the 82, which would be a B-. If your performance in the second half of the semester drops more than 10 percentage points, that's the new grade you get. So if you have an 82 after I grade the second exam, and then all the work for the second half of the semester averages out to a 70, then you get the 70. So there's some wiggle room. Now, it's worth asking, all right, well, what is the work going to be like in the second part of the semester? I've set things up, I think, pretty generously and with kindness. It'll be easier in some ways, but harder because we're all separated, we're all online, we're dealing with a whole bunch of different online classes with different expectations and different instructors. So, but yeah, how will my after spring break grade be calculated? So here are the words, and I'll give you a graphic in a minute. Each week, you'll have a Top Hat assignment to work through. So something will appear available in Top Hat. And on most weeks, this is a weird week because it's only half a week, but on most weeks it'll appear at 12:01 a.m. Monday, so early Monday, or late Sunday, depending on if you're a night owl. And you'll have 4 days to work through it. Now, it won't take 4 days. It's essentially 2 classes worth. And there'll be some problems to work through. I'll make small videos, and then I'll ask you questions about the videos, all in Top Hat. Kind of like one of those Top Hat assignments where they might be there was maybe an embedded video and some questions. So this will be like that, some 5 or 8 minute video, then some questions, and then another video and some questions. The answers to those questions will be in the videos. So the intention is read the questions, and then watch the videos and wait until I answer the questions, and then you have the answers. So it's just encouraging you to watch the videos. I will also provide a discussion forum in that assignment, so you can embed them. And it's not graded, you don't have to use it. But if you want to chat with other students, feel free to discuss the problems and the answers. That's there for you. For those Top Hat assignments, which are the replacement for our Monday, Wednesday lectures, you'll have unlimited attempts. So let's be clear, I'm not going to Zoom, you don't have to watch me live or none of that nonsense. You'll have 4 days, 96 hours, to watch what will probably be an hour to 2 hours of videos broken up, hopefully less. I'm going to shoot for much less. And then a whole bunch of questions that you can't help but get right if you use a discussion forum and you watch the videos. All right. Then, each week on Friday, 12:01 a.m., there'll be a Top Hat quiz will become available. You'll have 48 hours to do that. And those questions will be very similar to the ones in the assignments. Slightly different. I recommend, when you're working through the assignment each week, to take some notes, paper notes. It'll make the quizzes easier. You won't have to go back and watch videos or anything. So take good paper notes. The quiz is open notes, of course. It's open calculator. We used to do partners quizzes, so you can definitely chat with friends you have in the class. Do try to learn the material and understand it. It'll be easier. You'll have less attempts on the quiz. You'll have 3 attempts per question. So you can't just try every possible answer, of course. And let's see, late April we'll have an exam. It'll be on Top Hat. It'll have answers very, very similar to the quizzes. I'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably make it 48 hours, just like the quizzes. To do it, you'll have 2 chances to answer each question correctly. So notice that we're going from the assignment, unlimited questions, answers are in the videos, quizzes, slightly different questions, a couple attempts per question, to the test, which are, again, very similar, but we'll have some different values you got to figure out. And you have 2 chances. So, it's still not too bad. Also, if you read the amended syllabus, on the Top Hat test, I will make every question 50-50 correctness and participation. Meaning if you answer every question on the Top Hat test incorrectly, you'll still get a 50%. If you answer half the questions correctly, that would be a 75. So you can't get less than a 50% on the Top Hat test if you just answer the questions. So you're going up from a 50%, not up from a 0. So that should help. And you will have a final paper, but you always had a final paper. It was in the original syllabus. And I'll have a rubric on that available soon. And that will relate quantitative literacy, this COVID-19 pandemic. Basically, I'm going to have you find 2 articles over the next 6 weeks. An article that was very helpful in explaining quantitative information, and then an article that was just crap. And you'll cite those, and you'll talk about the importance of quantitative literacy during a pandemic like this. And to that end, this unit we're going to do, the rest of the semester we're just going to look at this particular pandemic. The news articles are just chock full of quantitative information. Mortality rates, not hospitality rates, but hospitalization rates. The mortality rates dependent on age. Those are conditional probabilities. The mortality rates dependent on pre-existing conditions. What's the latency of the virus? What kind of growth is there? It's exponential growth, but there's lots of different types of exponential growth. How do measures like quarantining and social distancing affect that exponential growth? So we're just going to dive into current events, and we're going to talk about the sorts of things we've been talking about anyway. Percentages and probabilities and false positives and true negatives and all these kinds of things, all in the context of that thing which has caused this distance between us, the reason you're watching a screen right now. So here's the breakdown for the after spring break grade. Top hat lessons, 4 days apiece, except the first week, which will have 2 days. It'll be a smaller lesson. 15% of your grade will be those questions. 20% on quizzes. Exam 3, actually I need to put a number in here. It's in the amended syllabus, so maybe I won't put a number in here, and you can just look it up in the amended syllabus. And then a final paper. So those will add up to 100%. All right, I just paused it and fixed something. So yeah, 20% for that third exam coming up. The previous 2 exams still count. That's 40%. And your final paper is 5%. This is 100%. This is how I'll calculate your after spring break grade. So there's a table. Again, I'll link to the slides in this announcement so you can look at the slides, also the amended syllabus. So this is the breakdown of your before spring break grades, and on the right, your after spring break grades. Notice that I'm not taking attendance. That wouldn't even make sense. So I've combined those 5 percentage points into participation. Here's a graphic for the weekly schedule. So early Monday morning, the weekly lesson is posted on Top Hat. You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to complete it. It's not 4 days worth of work. The reason I give you 4 days is to allow you flexibility in your schedule. There's 100 of you. I have no idea what you're dealing with, and to give you 96 hours to do a couple hours of work allows you to figure out when you're doing this work. My kids make it next to impossible to do anything. I do a lot of work early in the morning and late at night. So I figured delivering one big quote-unquote lesson early in the week and allowing you to figure out when you can do it is better than doing things several times a week. Same with the quiz. Early Friday morning it appears, or late Thursday night. And if people want this a little earlier, that's fine. If I'm willing to adjust things a little bit as best I can for the population. So if folks would like to have the quiz available Thursday night, before things close down, that's fine too. I understand that. So 48 hours for the quiz. Sunday, there's nothing due. I'm sure your other online classes are going to have all kinds of stuff due Sunday. So Friday and Saturday, 48 hours, you have to find time to do something that should take you an hour. So hopefully that gives you the flexibility that you need. It's important, and I'll reiterate, to check your University of Maine email daily. Be well aware of these things. Reach out to me if you have questions, even if they're not about this class. I will try to answer those questions. Let me know if there's something I can do or change or tweak that would help your situation. The reason I'm not using Blackboard and the reason I'm not using Zoom, the reason I'm only using Top Hat, notice that everything's on Top Hat, is because you can do this all on your phone. You could sit outside of a library with public Wi-Fi, and you could do this on your phone in a car. So when designing this, I wanted something that only needed a smartphone. Also, major carriers have removed data limits, so in principle, you could do this on your phone over 4G. So that's the idea. Is I didn't want you to have to use a bunch of different technologies or I don't know. It's my first time teaching an online class. It might be your first time taking one. Please stay in touch. Check your email often. This Top Hat assignment for this coming week, I probably will release on Tuesday, maybe even Monday at some point, so you can start working on it, but it's meant to be a smaller assignment. It'll deal with exponential growth, and it will address some of the topics that we've been reading about in terms of the spread of this virus. Best of luck to you. Stay safe. Be healthy. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Miss you guys. Take care.